Hello and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever stood there and watched your top engineers absolutely drowning in quoting paperwork, well, this is for you. Today we're going through a playbook specifically designed for commercial leaders at mid-size testing, inspection, and certification firms, TIC for short. And we are going to completely bypass the usual tech hype. Instead, we're looking at the rigorous structural realities of deploying governed AI in TIC sales. Just to be clear, this isn't a pitch, and we won't be recommending any specific software tools today. This is very much a practitioner's playbook for achieving measurable returns and doing it responsibly. Right, let's take a quick look at our agenda. We'll cover the TIC sales reality, the performance gap, orchestration, tool selection, the human operating system, and finally, risk and governance. Let's get straight into it. Section 1, the TIC sales reality. We really have to start here with our foundational constraints, because we simply can't redesign workflows without acknowledging what makes this sector entirely unique. At our absolute core, what is it we actually sell? In the TIC industry, we don't just sell standard services. We sell a promise, and that promise is backed by independent accreditation. This means verifiable proof carries a disproportionate amount of weight for us. A fast proposal, it's completely useless if it isn't a perfectly credible one. You see, we operate within 5 structural realities that really distinguish TIC from generic B2B sales. As we just said, we sell a promise backed by accreditation. Secondly, demand is often triggered by external events, like new regulations. Crucially, quoting requires scarce technical expertise. Fourth, the revenue is recurring by design, think expiring certificates. And finally, our buyers are highly technical and incredibly rigorous. These 5 facts dictate exactly where AI can be applied safely to drive growth. Section 2, the performance gap. Let's see how that structural reality helps us understand the exact friction points that are costing us both revenue and time. The industry's primary talent constraint sits right smack in the middle of the sales cycle. Every single hour an engineer spends painstakingly drafting a quote is an hour stripped directly from billable client work. The opportunity cost here is just massive. When we break that down, we uncover 5 key performance gaps: detection, speed, knowledge, retention, and visibility. Think about it. Regulatory triggers passing by unnoticed, or quote, turnarounds taking days instead of hours simply because the necessary knowledge is trapped inside past bids. These gaps are exactly what governed automation needs to bridge. But here's a rather sobering statistic for you. According to data from Revenue Velocity Lab's own customer base, only 42% of companies using one vendor sales AI platform actually met their ROI targets. Why? Well, poor workflow redesign. They bought the shiny new tools, but they didn't fundamentally change how the work was done. We're here today to make sure you end up in that successful minority. Moving into Section 3, orchestration. To truly master workflow redesign, we are dedicating a full third of our time today to dismantling one specific high-yield process, Workflow 4, the rapid quotation engine. The governed orchestration pattern looks a bit like this. An inquiry arrives, the AI proposes a scope, deterministic rules calculate the actual numbers, and finally a human releases it. The AI is safely sandboxed here. It never acts completely on its own. It's merely a component within a heavily governed system, bounded by strict rules and mandatory human oversight. This is how you ensure speed without sacrificing the rigorous accuracy our clients demand. But before we even touch the AI, we have to talk about your data. The unglamorous truth is that 60% of this entire project is data standardization. We all know how incredibly painful it is to untangle years of legacy pricing sheets, but you simply must codify your price book into structured database tables before AI is even introduced. If your data foundation is weak, the whole workflow collapses under its own weight. It takes patience, but it's absolutely non-negotiable. So let's walk through the step-by-step discipline of this Workflow 4. First, the AI model maps the client's request to your catalog, explicitly stating its assumptions and flagging anything that falls outside your accreditation scope. Second, a strict rule engine looks up the price based on those exact parameters. Third, an engineer does a highly focused 5-minute review of the AI's proposed scope. And finally, any human corrections feed into a monthly flywheel to make the system smarter over time. The goal isn't to remove the engineer, it's to focus their expertise where it actually matters. We have to be absolutely ruthless about the separation of duties here. AI must never, ever calculate commercial numbers or lead times. It merely generates a proposed scope for a qualified person to confirm, while deterministic, hard-coded rules handle the maths. Treat the language model as a powerful summarizer, never as a calculator. Please, whatever you do, avoid this fatal pitfall. If you point a language model at a PDF price list and ask it to quote, it will confidently generate plausible but entirely wrong numbers. In the TIC industry, if you present an invented price to a technical buyer, your program loses all credibility in a single meeting. The trust is gone, the initiative is dead in the water. We must build workflows that prevent this mathematically. Right? Section 4, tool selection and impartiality. We really have to treat our 4-layer software stack with the exact same rigorous assessment as we do our laboratory equipment. When you're evaluating tools, run every single candidate through these 7 compliance checks. Demand enterprise data handling commitments so your data isn't used to train public models. Verify the hosting regions and require independent security certificates, like ISO 27001. Check those audit trails, ensure single sign-on capabilities, evaluate API maturity, and finally, do comparison testing on your own documents. Keep all these answers meticulously on file for your assessors. Remember, under standards like ISO 17025, impartiality is a fundamental property of your organization. It isn't something a software vendor just holds on your behalf. You can't outsource your compliance. The burden of proof always stays with you. Section 5. The human operating system. Because ultimately, the technology is merely an enabler. The durable differentiator in this playbook is your people. Competence with AI tools can realistically be trained in a few weeks, but the dispositions you need, those take time to cultivate. We're talking about curiosity, a willingness for continuous experimentation, and systems thinking. Cultivating these allows your technical team to constantly feed institutional memory back into the prompts and workflows. We need to start conceptualizing these AI agents as named delegations, meaning you operate them under strict supervision, exactly as you would oversee junior technical staff. You wouldn't let a junior analyst send a high-stakes proposal without checking it first, right? The same applies here. The human remains the absolute authority. Finally, Section 6, risk, governance, and humility. We have to anchor this entire operational transformation in rigorous risk management. Your governance framework needs to holistically address this compliance matrix that covers the EU AI Act, robust data privacy rules, preventing prompt injection vulnerabilities in cybersecurity, and preserving your accreditation impartiality. But it also means practicing environmental proportionality, deliberately choosing the smallest, most energy-efficient capable models for the task, because AI's energy footprint is very real and must be managed responsibly. I want to leave you with this foundational thought. Verify before relying, sample before trusting. In an industry built entirely on independent assurance, we must apply that exact same humility and rigor to our own internal tools. So, as you look at your own sales workflows tomorrow morning, I want you to ask yourself, where is your expertise currently trapped in paperwork, and how quickly can you safely set it free? Thanks so much for joining me today.